Recently, I've received criticism from a good friend of mine about the game Batman Arkham Knight. He brought up several thoughts and opinions to do with the game that I would have no problem with if they weren't lies. To not like the game is okay by me, because everyone is entitled to their opinion and that's fine. My problem, however, was that he brought up lies about the game as facts, lies that simply aren't true, and I'm here to debunk them. I've been playing the Rocksteady Arkham games ever since 2009, when Arkham Asylum first came out, so I think I have accumulated enough knowledge of the games, and as an avid reader of Batman comics, I believe that I am more than suitable to conduct this review. And although I will not look at this from a fanboy's point of view, but simply from a critical one. And no, by no means am I saying that Batman Arkham Knight is a masterpiece, because it definitely isn't even close. Honestly, it's not even a great game, and Rocksteady really dropped their ball in some aspects of the game, such as plot. For this I don't blame them though. Paul Dini, the writer for both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, did not return for Arkham Knight, and Dini's loss is clearly noted. However, Batman Arkham Knight is still a good game, and I want to explain why this is not just the typical AAA money grab you think it is. Alright, let's get started. One of the points he kept saying over and over again is that the combat in Batman Arkham Knight just consists of mashing buttons, and that you can get through any fighting part of the game just by spamming buttons. If I were to be told this in the times of Batman Arkham Asylum, then I'd somewhat agree, but even then, that wasn't the case. First of all, Rocksteady's combat style revolutionized gaming. Batman Arkham Knight refines the gameplay by 500% compared to its predecessors. In the background, I've included a time-lapse of every single fight move that can be done in the game, requiring memorization of unique button combinations, which during combat have to be applied strategically. Off the bat, you already receive a lot of combat moves, and there are literally over 100 different button combinations that can be purchased and upgraded with Wayne Tech points. And I know what you're about to say. No, it's not a pay to win. You gain Wayne Tech points by grinding out the game and progressing through the story and the various side missions. I'm sorry, but if you actually play the game, you'll soon know that if you keep mashing buttons, you will die. The enemy thugs here propose a bigger threat than ever, and they just keep getting tougher. Specific moves have to be used to take them down, and amongst all the fighting combinations, there are dozens of gadgets which can also be used to take down enemies. Stealth in the game is incredible. The Arkham Knight thugs adapt to every single move you make, and it's rare you can repeat the same move over and over because they adapt to it every time, so your attacks have to be planned out and very varied. The Fear Takedown is a really cool addition, one which we didn't have before, and as you are seeing, there are so many fight moves involved. Have you ever gotten to the minigunners yet? Or the dual takedowns? Dual takedowns can be performed with an ally, and they are so much fun. You either don't know how to play or haven't even completed 5% of the game, because Batman Arkham Knight is the best game in the trilogy gameplay wise, including the most features and innovating on the past games majorly. You claim that about 50% of the original game was sliced off as DLC. I don't know where you've heard this rumor, but if you actually are familiar with DLC here, you immediately know that's not true. Batman Arkham Knight is the final game in the Rocksteady franchise, whereas Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City barely had DLC. For Arkham Knight, Rocksteady wanted to say goodbye to their franchise properly. 6 months of DLC exists for Arkham Knight as a way to say goodbye to the trilogy and it is additional content. If it was a cash grab, why didn't they release as much DLC for Arkham City, which was even a bigger success? And why don't they keep making sequels to get more money, as you claim? In this point, I would also like to mention that you said Rocksteady is Incorporated. Rocksteady's team initially started off very small for the game they were making, and I mean very, very small. They had success and decided to hire more people to work on their next games with them. What's the problem with expanding your game company? Wouldn't you do the same if you had the chance? Trust me, Rocksteady would have stayed as close to the core of indie as they can, and you can still see their initial purity and love, dedication and attention to detail when you play their games. 11 years they invested into it. I'm sorry, but being pissed at a company for expanding their business is dumb, and it pisses me off how unfamiliar you are with it. As someone who claims to love being immersed, I'm surprised that a game with as much atmosphere, ambience and attention to narrative is what you dislike. This brings me to my next point. Yes, Batman Arkham Knight is awful on PC. I know. I too could also rant about it for hours, or even how about the fact that the game was cancelled on Mac because the PC port was so bad. I know, but you can't sit there and take shots at Rocksteady when it wasn't even them who handled the PC port. The game wasn't built for PC, it was built around console, so to degrade the game itself over a crappy PC port made by an external company is stupid. But yes, that concludes my little rant. The game does have problems, and to not like the game I get, but I'm not going to let you lie about it either. Also, this may be my last video, so goodbye guys, I guess.